I'm still confused as to why this game is called Infinite Wealth, even after beating it, because throughout my entire playthrough, I have been completely This is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Some would call it the best game of 2024. Those people are correct. Infinite Wealth has two protagonists, Kiryu and Ichiban. Ichiban was the protagonist of the previous game and is a charismatic blockhead, and Kiryu was the protagonist of the other Yakuza games before Like a Dragon, and is a strong, quiet blockhead. They're both great protagonists, and they work quite well together in this game. Along with the protagonists, you have your party members from the previous game, along with three new ones, Tomizawa, Chichose, and Songhee. This game introduces a lot of really strong characters, both figuratively and literally. Some of the better ones include the new party members, Yamai, Dwight, Bryce, Kay, and the bartender. Rough. But there are also some not so great characters like Eiji. I do not like Eiji, and if you want to know why, that's too bad. A lot of RGG's games use real-life actors for their games, like this guy and these three in Yakuza 0. This game has two American actors, Danny Trejo and Daniel Day Kim, which you may remember from Spy Kids and that one scene. There's also Kay, who's based on the VTuber. I don't know how they translated that to a real-life person, but they did. She plays as herself in both the English and Japanese dubs, which is pretty cool. They, along with mostly everyone else, did a pretty good job in this game. I don't want to get too in-depth about the story to avoid spoilers, but I will say this. This game is like 90% cutscenes if you're just doing the story. In the first 2 hours, there were only about 15 minutes of gameplay. That's insane. I'm not watching a movie, I'm playing a game. You might say this is typical for JRPGs, and you'd be right. But that doesn't mean it's a good thing. I want to play the game, not just watch some cutscenes. The cutscenes are great, don't get me wrong, but it really drags at certain parts, especially near the beginning. But once you're set free, that's when the game gets good. Like Starfield. Why are there bananas right in the middle of the counter? Where am I supposed to put my stuff? Infinite Wealth has 3 cities to explore: Honolulu, Yokohama, and Kamurocho. Honolulu is the newest to be added to the series, and it's alright. It's the first city to be located in America, and like the other cities in this series, it's accurate to its real-life counterpart, at least I assume. I've never been there though, so I can't say for certain. There are some things it gets wrong, like the price of a water bottle. Multiply it by 10 and then you're good. But then it gets things 100% correct, like how we carry our guns around like this all the time. I liked Honolulu, but compared to the other cities in this game, it ranks the lowest. It has the most amount of things to do, but just as a city to explore, it serves its purpose, but not much else. Returning in this game are Yokohama and Kamurocho. Yokohama is the city used in the last Yakuza game, and it's the biggest city in the series. There's a ton of stuff to do and look at, but for me personally, it can't compare to Kamurocho. Kamurocho has been the main city used for the majority of Yakuza games in the past, and in this game, it's fine. Its only purpose in this game is basically for nostalgia, which it does well, and it's the reason why I like it so much in this game. But if you're looking for things to do or look at, you'd be better off looking elsewhere. Each of the cities has things to make them feel more alive in how they are in real life, like the NPCs for example. A lot of them are just walking around, minding their own business, but if you look hard enough, you'll find someone who wants to talk to you about the most random things, like this lady who won her handbag in a drawing or something, I don't remember. Or if you look inside this hotel, there's a family who forgot their son Kevin at home and the dad is trying to calm everyone down. Or what about the sound effects coming from different buildings that attempt to draw you in with the promise of something? I don't know, I can't read Japanese. Or maybe you'll see people standing next to their segways. Oh yeah, segways. You could ride segways in this game. It helps make traversal on foot a lot faster. It's kind of like the skateboard in Lost Judgment, except you can pin a location on the map and push the trigger and it'll go there automatically. It's like fast travel with extra steps. And lack of steps. Speaking of segues, sometimes you'll trigger a discussion with the group if you're near something that would trigger it, like the ocean. It's kind of funny to see the group talk about little things, like which side of the escalator to stand on. Little discussions like this make the group feel like real people. That's honestly how I would describe this entire game. Real. Well, realistic. All of these minute details and more that this game has to offer makes the world feel more realistic. Like the rain, which serves no purpose other than to remind you that rain is real, and rain is pain. You probably won't notice all these details while playing, which is honestly a good thing because it means you're immersed in the gameplay. But if you take a moment and look through the 60 magnifying glasses that you own, you'll see that all of these insignificant details and more add together to make the world feel more alive, which is pretty cool. But just walking around and looking at all the pretty colors is boring. If only there was something to do! Bazinga! What does every great Yakuza game need? Great combat, an incredible story, and karaoke! There's a bunch of new songs in this game, and they're all great. In Japanese. In English,
we're breaking the law.
It's a bit iffy. There's a bunch of arcade games like the Dumb Stupid Crane game, Sega Bass Fishing, Spike Out, Virtua Fighter, and more. These are literally just the arcade versions of these games, so whatever opinion you have of those will be the same for these. Remember when they said they're bringing back Crazy Taxi? Well, this is it. You deliver the food and do tricks because people didn't order a burger for the burger. They ordered it to see you do a funny flip. If you like Pokemon Snap, you're insane. But this game has you covered with Sicko Snap. Take pictures of the sickos at the right time to get the most points. This is honestly pretty fun. Maybe I'm the insane one. The vocational school is back, for some reason. You take exams to increase your personality points. The best part about this is that it doesn't know when you're cheating. In the last game, when you would pass a test, everyone around you would chant, which makes sense. But in this game, everyone just kind of talks. Can collecting is also back for some reason. It's the same thing as before, except you play as Kiryu. It's basically Pac-Man except for cans. You're taking money from homeless people. How do you feel?
Yoshi yoshi.
Mismatch is Tinder, complete with catfishing. There's this doll's playhouse thing that they thought was so important that they needed a fast travel point in front of it, and there's 2 of them in Yokohama. I never did it. There's a dedicated hello button which can be used to make friends. For some people, you have to do a little extra, like get the toy from the dumb stupid claw machine. And for the animals, you have to feed them. There's a cow. Yeah! This is the greatest game ever.
With the side eye.
Oh, well, I was gonna keep going, but it seems like they want us to talk about the combat. Fine, but first let me just... This is the second game in the series to use turn-based combat, but you think it's been here the whole time because of how great it is, even though they only changed one thing about it. Walking around in battle adds so much more strategy with how you position yourself when you attack. Back attacks do critical damage, but if you send the enemy flying into an ally, it'll do even more damage. And you could get everyone else in your party to attack the flying enemy if you're lucky. This is a great way to do combat, and it's a necessary step up that the series needed. This game has classes that every character can choose from, like any typical RPG. There's a lot to choose from, like a cowboy, a ninja, Jackie Chan, and more. The way you unlock these is through tours. Basically, you pay to go on a tour, it shows you a goofy cutscene, and you unlock the job. People keep debating over which classes are the best, which is probably a good thing because it means most of them are good choices. Except Dragon of Dojima, there's no debate over that one, it's overpowered. Kiryu is the only one to have the ability to have real-time combat, but only for a moment. You hold the trigger, because real Yakuza use a gamepad, and it'll activate this state where you can walk around and spam your attacks. It works kind of like extreme heat in other games, and it also does extreme damage. One of the most important parts of the combat, to me at least, is the dynamic intro. It's the cool little cutscene before the fight begins to hype you up for the battle. This game nailed them. I can't show too many because of spoilers, but look at this one. Man, it's awesome. You know what else is awesome? Remember in this video when I said this? Do you know why I call you Ichi? Because it's my name but shortened, sir? No. Ichibo. Well, look, it's right there. I told you! Sujimon battles are like that one game. What was it called? Digimon? Anyway, Sujimon is literally just that. Like 1-to-1. Well, it's more like the mobile game than anything, really. You go around the world and challenge trainers to fight with your Sujimon. There's raids that you fight in to catch Sujimon as well. You have to work your way through the 5 champions and crown yourself the king of Sujimon. This mode is alright. It's really challenging thanks to the level ceiling that raises whenever you defeat a champion, but it makes me wonder why there's a turn-based RPG within a turn-based RPG. And also there's Dondoko Island, which is just Animal Crossing. This game really likes to rip off Nintendo for some reason. There's a lot to this, so get in your car and put on your seatbelt. So basically, you gotta bring a resort that was once popular back to its former glory. But there's a bunch of trash that's being dumped there by a group called the Washmugglers. So you gotta beat them up with your bat too. Once you clear an area, you can build things like buildings, golden statues, and toilets. These help build your island's popularity, which helps you get more customers in, which gets you money. But not money, Dondoko Bucks money, which can be used to buy things like upgrades and such. You have a house so you can also decorate and make bigger with the Dondoko Bucks. You can also use your Sujimon to do something. I never got that far. And finally, once you do all that, you unlock an orbital laser. Is it over? Oh yeah, the island has mascots and they're depressed. The side quests in Yakuza are memorable because they're funny. Even the weakest of the games has something to point and laugh at. And in this game, they're alright. There's the one where the bird lands on your head. There's the one where you have to summon a storm by doing this. There's the one where the man baby returns. Is it rude to ask a baby its age? Okay, so I was curious and I looked it up real quick. He's 79. 79! In terms of funny ones, these are the only ones I can remember. There are other ones that I didn't see, like this one for example. I have no idea what this image is for, but whatever it is, it's probably good. I was honestly a bit disappointed with the lack of funny side quests. A lot of them are meant to be taken seriously, like the one where you help a kid with his lemonade stand, or the one where you try to stop someone from being scammed, but turns out he likes it. I don't want to feel bad for these people. I want to laugh at Kiryu while he's choking down a pizza. Those are Ichiban's side quests, but Kiryu also has side quests. Kinda. Basically, Kiryu has cancer and he's gonna die. That's not a spoiler, it was in the trailer, so he needs to tie up any loose ends that he has.
Get in there.
This means completing a completion list, doing some side quests, and touching the glowing lights. Let's talk about that first. Basically, you walk up to something that makes him remember something from his past. Sometimes it's a character, sometimes it's something that comes to him in a dream, so the spin-off games, and sometimes it's a random building that he doesn't remember. I'm not kidding, look at it. Why are you like this? For the completion list, you do stuff and you complete the list. Wow. The side quests are almost always just cutscenes. There's also life links, which is the same thing but with people that actually matter. He basically watches them from a distance and sees how well they're holding up. The bucket list stuff exists for two reasons. One, it gives you a reason to play as Kiryu, because without it, there'd be literally no reason to play as him. And two, it serves as sort of a send-off for him, as this is probably the last time we'll play as him. Just like in 6. They'll probably do that again in the next game with Mecha Kiryu. So I said earlier that there were 3 things that every Yakuza game needs. I lied, there's actually 4. The 4th being an absolutely banging soundtrack. Does this game have— Holy moly! Listen to this! I could keep going. Heck, I could probably put most of the soundtrack in here. It is really good. Like, really, really good. Something that's new to this game is the ability to make a playlist and list of songs while going around town. This is a pretty cool feature. Until you remember that like 50 streaming services exist. I played this game on PS4, and it ran about how I would expect. At first. Around chapter 6, the game started to act weirdly. It could be because I was playing the game consistently for like over a week at that point, and I was pushing this thing to its limits, but still. There was one of those dumb cutscenes that's not really a cutscene where Songhi just stops. I just skipped this cutscene because of this. There were a few cases where someone was supposed to follow up, and they were perfectly capable of it, like he's right there, but they just didn't. The game even crashed at one point. But besides all that, the game ran pretty consistently at 1080p, I think, and 30 FPS. This game comes in 3 editions, standard and not standard. The game itself is $70, which I would honestly say is worth it. But is it worth spending $110 for the Ultimate Edition? No. Maybe. I'll be honest, I used this costume for everyone throughout my entire playthrough. Except that one time. Football. Look, that was a pre-order bonus and it took me like 24 hours. Never mind. The deluxe edition includes the Master Vacation bundle, which has costumes, CDs, a new dungeon, and New Game Plus. The Ultimate Edition makes Sujimon and Dondoko Island easier, and gives you more costumes and CDs. So in other words, pay to win. Should this be your first Yakuza game? Maybe. There's a lot here to love if you've never played a Yakuza game before, but at the same time, there's a lot more to love if you have played them. I think that playing the other games helps significantly, but playing this game first wouldn't be a bad option. I personally would recommend playing 0 if you plan on only playing one game in the series, since they're all so long. Like, stupid long. Like, holy moly, make a 5-hour one. But if you prefer turn-based or more slow and kind of boring at times games, then this game would actually be a great fit for you. That being said, if you've played all the other Yakuza games, should you play this one? Are you kidding? Yes! Go play it right now! Thanks for watching. You should watch that video right there. I don't know what it is, but you'll figure it out. And then, subscribe too. I don't know what I should do for the outro. Just, please, help me. Please?